ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णा प्रेम प्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्णा चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जन्माद्यस्य तोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थसुभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्म हृदयादिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। स्वस्ति अस्तु विश्वस्य खलः प्रसीदतां ध्यायन्तु भूतानि शिवं मिथो धिया। मनश्च भद्रं भजतादधोक्षजे आवेश्यतां नो मतिरप्यहेतुकी। The reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, canto 10, chapter 53, verse number 1. In the previous chapter we read the message of Sri Rukmani Devi sent by the Brahmana, and then the Brahmana said that please do whatever is proper. So here in this chapter describes how Krishna will go to Kundanpur and abduct Rukmani. Those who do Bhagavad Katha, this is a very important chapter for them because they make a whole marriage festival out of it, and people give charity because it's a custom when girl gets married. Kanyadan dete hain. So then they get a lot of saris and cloth, and so this is favorite for them. Krishna's birth and this one. So Sri Shuka uvacha Vedarbhyasatu sandesham nisamya yadunandanaha pragrihya panina panim prahasan idam abravit. Yadunandan Sri Krishna, after hearing the message of Vedarbhi, Sri Rukmani Devi, he took the hand of the Brahmana in his own hand, and while smiling he spoke the following. So he is accepting the message, and then he wants to inform the Brahmana what he will do, because Brahmana has to go with him. In the olden days this was also one of the custom, not anymore, that marriages were actually also settled by the Brahmana and the barber. These two were famous for that. So messages were sent through Brahmanas or barber, because barber also knows a lot of people, because he's shaving head, and when he's shaving head he's always talking. So he has a dialogue, therefore he has a lot of information about the people. So Tripanchashattame Krishno Gatva Kundina Marchitaha Bhishmakena Harad Bhashmim Devyarchai Vinirgatam. So in this sloka he is describing the summary of this chapter, that in this 53rd chapter it is described that Krishna, he will go to Kundinpur, the capital of Rukmani's father, and there he was worshipped by Bhishmaka, father of Sri Rukmani Devi. And then when she went to do worship of Devi, then he kidnapped her. So this will be described here. Rukmini Krishna Eka Chitta Bahirantar Vyakula Eva Asti Sma. So he says that Rukmani, whose mind was fixed on Sri Krishna, she was agitated inside as well as outside. Inside in the mind, because she was in anxiety whether Krishna is coming, not coming, coming, not coming, no news. There was no WhatsApp, so she is waiting. And externally also she was not stable. She was moving inside, outside. But Krishna is different. Externally he is peaceful, internally he is also disturbed. So that's what he said. Sa Krishnastu Rukmani ek chittatvad antar vyakulopi prahasan prahasena swaharsam avishkurvam. So the difference is shown between her and Krishna, that Krishna, although he was also fixed on Rukmani, wanted to marry her, and he was inside Vyakula, agitated, but externally he was acting normal, he was happy, smiling. He expressed his happiness after hearing this message. And then he spoke as follows. Sri Bhagavan uvacha Tatha ahamapi tachitto nidram cha na labhe nishi vedaham rukmina dveshan mamodvaho nivaritaha. So he said that just like her, my mind is also fixed on her. Tatha ahamapi tachitto. And I am so much thinking of her that at night I am not able to sleep, because he got the news that Rukmani would be married to Shishupal because of the dvesha, because of the dislike. Rukmini did not like Krishna, so he planned, and therefore he avoided Rukmani It was known to them that Rukmani wants to marry Krishna. It was not something secret. But they did not want that. We already read that Bhishmaka and the other three brothers, they were all happy to marry her to Krishna. But it was Rukmi only, the eldest one, who was against it, because he was friendly with Shishupal and all this Viduratha, Shalva, Jarasandha. These four, the main ones. So that's what he's saying, that Dveshat Mama Udvaho Nivarita, that these people have got my marriage cancelled with Rukmani because of Dvesha, because of hatred towards me. So Veda Vedmi says that I know it. Vedaham Rukmina. Tam Aniyashya Unmathya Rajanyapsadan Mridhe Matparaman Vadyangim Edasogni Shikhamiva. But he says that don't worry, they can plan what they plan, I also have my plan. He says that Tam Anayeshe, I will definitely bring her here. And if one asks, how will you bring her? Because there are so many people. He says, Unmathya Rajanya Apsadan. He says all these low-class kings who are against me, I will churn them in the battle. And then I will take out Rukmani, who is devoted to me, and Anavadyangi, who is pure, beautiful. Just like you bring out fire from wood. So fire is hidden inside the wood, but by churning, the fire comes out. So like that, she is hidden or protected by all these people. So I will churn them and bring her out. Edaso Agni Shikham Ivaiti. So just like there is Agni Shikha, fire in the wood, Edashi Vartamana Agni Shikha Aprakati Bhuta. But it is not manifest in the wood, it remains invisible. Yatha edha eva jwalayati tatha eva rukmi prabhriti dusht rajanya kulena avrita saiva tat sarvam jwalishyati aham tu nimitta matra bhavishyami iti bhava. So he is giving a very nice explanation based on the example. He said just like fire is inside the wood, but when the fire is generated, that very fire which comes from the wood burns the wood. So he says these kings who are protecting her, they will be consumed in the fire of Rukmani. But I will be the nimitta, I will be instrumental in that. Nimitta karana. So nimitta karana means just like you take the arni, this special wood, arni wood, and somebody churns them. So that person who is churning is the nimitta cause, is the instrumental cause. And then the wood itself is the upadan karan. And then wood itself becomes consumed by the same fire which is generated. So he says that Krishna will only be instrumental. Actually they will be defeated by the purity of Rukmani herself. That's why she is called here as Anavadya Angim, or one who is pure in her limbs. Sri Shuka Vacha, Sri Shukdev said, Udvaharksham cha vigyaya Rukmanya madhusudanaha ratha sanyujyatam daruka ityaha sarathim. So then from the Brahmanas he learned about the muhurta of her marriage, that when is she going to get married, and this was on the third day the day the Brahmanas came, so it is on the third day that marriage was programmed. So after knowing this, then Madhusudana, he called his chariot driver, Daruka, and told him that get my chariot ready. So he did not delay because there was not much time and it's a long distance they have to travel. So he wants to reach in time. So therefore he called. So he is called here as Madhusudan. Madhusudan is also bee because Madhu means honey. Sudan means one who extracts. And Rukmani is also called Kamala. She is the lotus or lotus born. So therefore he will extract. He will go to the flower to get the honey. And therefore he says, get my chariot. So Dvahakshamiti Parashvo Ratrau Viha Nakshatramiti Vipramukhad Vijnaya. So he came to know from the Brahmana that the Muhurta for Rukmani's marriage is day after tomorrow, third day at night. And therefore he hurried. Sacha Shvai Sabya Sugriva Megha Puspa Balahakaihi Yuktam Rathamupaniya Tasthau Pranjali Ragrata. So when Daruka was ordered like that, means Krishna sent someone, obviously. So then he got the chariot. Krishna's chariot had 4 horses and they are having special names, each horse. Shabya, Sugriva, Meghapuspa and Balahaka. So these are the 4 horses. They are white in color. And Daruka is his driver. So he brought the chariot, Ratham, Yuktam, which was yoked with these 4 horses, and stood in front of him with joined palms, Pranjali Ragrata Tasthav, ready to do whatever he is asked to do now. Because he also has to say where to take the chariot. So Sabyadinam Varna Yatha Padme Shabyastu Sukshpakshab. So these, actually the horses are not all white, they are all different color. This is a sloka from Padma Purana. Sabyastu Shukpatrabha Sugrivo Hema Pingalaha Meghapuspastu Meghava Panduro Hi Balahaka. So it says that the horse, which is Sabya, that is greenish in color, like the wings of a parrot. Green horse. Sometimes say he is green horn. So he is a green horse. And Sugriva Hema Pingala. Sugriva is golden, yellowish in color. Golden yellow. And Meghapushpa Meghava. Meghapushpa is the color of the cloud, same color as Krishna. And Pandurohi Balahaka. And Balahaka is Pandur. Pandur can be white also yellowish in color. So this is the sloka which gives the color of the horses. So it's only Arjuna's horses which are Sveta, white. Meghapuspa also means actually the water which comes, rainwater is called Meghapuspa. Literally it means the flower of the clouds. And Balahak means clouds. So they can fly in the air if they want. And they can enter into the forest, green color. Aruhya syandanam shaurir dvijamaropya turnagaihi anartadekaratrena vidarbhanagamadhyaihi. So then he climbed onto the chariot, and along with the Brahmana, took the Brahmana also into the chariot. So at least he doesn't have to do hard work now, he can go back quickly. And the horses were very swift in moving, Turnagai. So they reached in one night to Vidarbha. Kundanpur is in Maharashtra. Where is it? Near Pune. So Vidarbhanagamad Hayai. So with the horses, he reached from Anartha, that is in Gujarat, to Maharashtra overnight train. So ekascha sau ratrischa iti ek ratra. So one night. So that means it was only by the evening time after dinner they started. Sandhyayam Rukmani Sandeshan Shrutva. So he heard this message from the Brahmana only in the evening. Because Brahmana came probably in the afternoon, then he gave him lunch, relax, then he talked to him. Now they are leaving. So tadanim ratham aruhya gachan prati pratah kundinam prapa. So just at that moment they got into the chariot and reached Kundinpur in the morning. So now it describes the city of Kundinpur. How it was decorated because it was marriage time. Marriage, is a big thing in India. Recently there was news all over the world about this Ambani's son marriage, Junior Ambani. So Raja sa Kundina Pati Putra Sneha Vasham Gataha Shishupalaya Swam Kanyam Dashyan Karmanya Karayat. So the king of Kundinpur, who was very much affectionate to his son, which means he was under his control, Putra Sneha Vasam Gataha. So he himself wanted Krishna to marry Rukmani, but because his eldest son did not agree, so he changed his mind and listened to the son. So therefore Shishupalaya Swam Kanyam Dashyan. So he planned to give his daughter to Shishupal, and he made corresponding arrangements, which means that Shishupal was also informed. He was invited. They got all the muhurta right when will the marriage happen. So the proper arrangements were made. So putrasya snehena vasam ateva anugasya karmani pura alankaran vani. So being controlled by the affection of his son, he did what was necessary to fulfill his wish, and therefore got the city ready. Puram samrishta samsikta margarathya chatuspatham chitradhvaja patakabhis toranaihi samalankritam. So the whole city was decorated. So in India, in the olden time, there were many small kingdoms. It was not that they were controlling big. There were hundreds of kings. And every king would basically have one place, like a fort, in which he will have a small army, and some villages around that, which he protected. So he got the city all decorated. Everything was cleaned, no dust, and all the paths, they were sprinkled with fragrant water. And Rathya Chatuspatha, the streets, the roads, the crossing roads, and there were various types of flags, just like in swing festival you saw how they are decorating. So Dhwaja Pataka Bhistorani. So there were flags, banners, festoons, all these Vandanvar. In this way the city was decorated. And people were also all dressed up because it was marriage of the princess. So everybody participated. Sraggandha Malyabharanair Virajambara Bhushitaihi Jushtam Strihi Purushaihi Śrīmad Grihaira Guru Dhupitaihi. So people, they also decorated themselves. They had garland. They put perfumes on their body. Various types of ornaments. Marriage is also the time where ladies bring out all their ornaments. Most of the time they're all packed. When it's time for marriage, then everybody brings out their fancy ornaments. And the dresses, Ambar Bhushitai. So both men and women, they all decorated themselves with this. And the houses were also decorated. Grihair Aguru Dhupitai. And they created the dhupa, the incense of Aguru. So everywhere the nice smell. Sraggandha Malyani Avi Bibhrati Tai. So they were all putting garlands, fragrant ointments, etc. Then he describes the king, what he did. Because marriage is a big festival, it's a big samskara. It is one of the 16 samskaras, one of the most important ones. So there is also a lot of worship which is performed. The Kula Devata, she will also go to worship the Kula Devi, and the other devatas, yagyas are performed, forefathers are worshipped, brahmanas are worshipped. So this is what is being described here. It says, Pitrin Devan Samabhyarcha Vipranscha Vidhivan Nripa Bhojitva Yathanyayam Vachya Masa Mangalam. So the king, he worshipped the forefathers and the devas and also the brahmanas as per the custom, vidhivat. And then he fed the brahmanas yathanyayam as was appropriate. This is also there, that both, whether it is the bridegroom side or the bride side, they all, both sides give feast before the marriage. One day before the marriage, there is a feast given to people. So therefore it says yathanyayam vachyamas, and then various types of auspicious chanting of mantras was done. There is no commentary. No comment on this. Susnatam sudatim kanyam kritakautuka mangalam ahatam sukayugmena bhushitam bhushanottamaihi. And then the girl was given a bath. There is also a special bathing ceremony before the one day before the marriage, on the day of marriage also. Sometimes, at least here in North India, they do it for 5 days, 7 days, 9 days. It's also dependent on their birth. Generally 9, 7, 5, 3 odd numbers. So both the bridegroom and bride, they are given special bath. All the ladies of the house, they come together and bathe them with the fragrant water. Some herbs are there, especially turmeric powder all over the body. So just like these days people go to beauty salon, get decorated, and so this is an old custom, but this is done with singing and music. Right? You have seen? No? Have you seen? So that is susnata. That's why it is called susnata. Not only snata. Snata means taken bath. Susnata means properly as per the custom. And sudati. And also cleaning the teeth. Because you eat all this betel nut, your teeth becomes reddish. So shine them. And kanyam krita kautuka mangalam. So the kanya, the virgin girl, was decorated like that. And kautuka mangala. Some auspicious things are done. Some say this is Mangal Sutra. Some say it is a special thing. But they also have a ceremony. They tie on the hand this supari. It is called Madan Bij, I think. At least I saw in childhood. I don't remember now. But they tie it on the hand. That is also considered as auspicious. So this is with Krit Kautuka Mangala. It is Kankana type of hand auspicious things with some, I think some other herbs are also there. And then she is given a nice dress which was freshly made, ahata. Ahata means not washed, directly coming from the weaver. That is called ahata anshuka. And it is silk amshuka and yugmena. So 2 of them. So that means there are 2 pieces of dress they had. This what ladies put on petticoat now, and then they put sari. This petticoat thing came later on. That's why it has the name petticoat. It's an English word. Petticoat. In Hindi they call petticoat, right? It's actually, originally the ladies were putting their sari with the back, which you still see in some parts of India, especially Maharashtra. That's how the saris were worn previously. So that's why it says ahata anshuka yugmene too. So upper blouse or whatever you call it, and then the sari. So these are the 2 pieces. Bhushitam bhushanottami. And then various types of ornaments. Of course, ornaments for every part of the body, for the ears, for the nose, for the head, for the neck, for the chest, for the arms, for the hands, for the fingers, feet, ankle, middle part, belt. So many. How many? There's 16, I think. Right? 16 singar. So there are 16 of them. That is the traditional. So therefore it says bhushna bhushnottamai. So ahatam sadyo yantra nirmuktam yad ansuka yugmam tena. So she was dressed with 2 pieces of cloth which directly came from the weaver. Means fresh. Ahatam, that's what the word ahata means. Literally means not hit. In English you have the word hit. In Sanskrit you have the word hat. Hata means hit. So because when you wash in the olden days, now you have washing machine, but in India, olden days, you hit the cloth. Right? Have you seen that? So that then it is no more ahata. Ahata means not hit, means it is not washed yet. That's why it is called ahata, fresh. So there he has a sloka for that here. From Smriti Shastra, Brahma himself says this. Ahatam yantra nirmuktam muktavasah swayam bhuva shastam tam manglikeshu tavan matrena sarvada. Brahma says that the cloth which comes directly from the weaver's machine and muktavasa which has not been washed, that is considered as good for auspicious occasions. Manglikeshu shastam, that is best. Tavan matrena sarvada iti smriti. Ahata iti pathe saevartha. Somewhere the reading is ahata, not ahata. He says then also it has the same meaning. Ahatam gunite pi syat tadite pi nave picha. So ahata is used for gunita. Gunita means now you make, like you iron them, you fold. That is called ahata in Sanskrit. Gunita. Gunita, ahata, folding. Or tadita. Or new, nave picha. This is from Visprakash dictionary. Bhushitam chakru raksham chakruriti avritya ubhayatra api anvitam. So, Bhushitam chakru. So, chakru is not there in this sloka, but chakru is coming in the next sloka. That raksham chakru, that they protected her by chanting of the mantra, that is in the next. But here there is no, it is bhushitam, so it needs a verb, that bhushitam chakru. So he says you take the verb back from there. So the chakru works both ways for sloka 11 and 12. Chakru samargya jurmantrair vadva raksham dvijottamaha purohito artha vidvai juhava graha santaye. So the learned Brahmanas, they chanted mantras from Samveda, Rigveda and Yajurveda for the protection of the bride. And they also chanted the mantras from Atharva Veda for Graha Santi. Graha, you know, Navagrahas, the 9 planets. So the Graha Santi is also done because they can also cause trouble. So they did all this by chanting of the mantras from Atharvid. Therefore it says Purohito Atharvidvai Juhava Graha Shante. So they performed some kind of yaga, havan for Navagraha Santi. Atharvavit, Atharvan Mantravit. So Atharvavit means the knower of the Vedas, Atharva Mantra, Vedas. Atharvan Mantranam Graha Shanti Adi Pracharyat. Because Atharvaveda has got many mantras for Graha Shanti, etc. So that's understood from here. Hiranya Rupya Vasamsi Tilamscha Gud Mishritan Pradadhenuscha Viprebhya Raja Vidhi Vidamvaraha. And the king, who was the knower of the various customs, injunctions of the Shastra, he gave charity of gold, Hiranya, silver and cloth, and sesame seed mixed with jaggery. So what you see in the winter time, til laddu, and also cows in charity. So this is basically 5 things which he gave in charity. gold, silver, cloth, laddu made from sesame seed and jaggery, and cows. So this is the charity he did. There is no commentary on this. एवं चेदीपति राजा दमघोष सुताय वै कार्यामास मंत्रज्ञै सर्वम अभ्युदयोचितम. So just as this side in Kundinpur the various activities, ceremonies were performed for Rukmani Devi, like that the king of Chedi, Damghosha, father of Shishupala, so he also got all these things done for his son, because his son was getting married. So therefore it says evam. Evam means in the same way, the way it is described above. So Sutaya vai, Sutaya means for his marriage, Karya Masa Mantragya. So Brahmanas, the knower of the mantras, he engaged them to perform Sarvam Abhyudayo Chitam for the welfare of his son. Only thing is he does not know that someone else is also coming. Madachyudabhir gajanikaihi Syandanayir hemamalibi Patti asva sankulai senyai Paritah kundinam yayo. But they must already have guessed that Krishna may come and cause trouble. So they were prepared. Therefore they did not just come marriage party, but they came with the army. So there were elephants with temples oozing mada. So Madachyuta Bhir Gajani Kai, and chariots, Hem Malibi, golden chariots, special chariots, not just for fighting, but in the olden days marriage parties used to go with bullock carts. So there were special bullock carts for marriage party. The bullock carts which you use for carrying fodder, etc., for farming, they are of one type. And the bullock carts which are used for traveling, they are another type. They are more fancy looking, lighter, and more decorated. So he is also having golden chariots. And Patti Aspa Sankulai, they are also infantry and horse riders. So therefore he has a Saini, he had a big army. Paritah Kundinam Yayav. So being surrounded by all this, he came to Kundinpur. So he also arrived one day before. Because in the olden days, marriages used to be 3-4 days. Marriage party will come. Now it happens all in one day, everything. But previously it was more relaxed. People had more time. Now because we have more machinery, so less time. So Madanam Shuta Ksharanam Yeshutai. Tamvai Vidarbhadhipatihi Samabhetya Vipujya Cha Niveshayamasa Muda Kalpitanya Niveshane. So when he arrived, so when the marriage party used to arrive in the village, then you have to receive it outside the village. This was also a ceremony. And then they are brought in with music. So here also this is an old custom. It says when he came, Tamvai Vidarbhadhipati, the king of Vidarbha Kundinpur, Bhishmak. So Samabhetya Bhipujyacha. So he received them and he worshipped them. And Niveshya Masamuda, and brought them in happily. And Kalpitanya Niveshane. So he has made arrangements for them to stay. So where the marriage party used to stay, because it used to stay for 2 nighs, 2 nights, 3 days. So that place was called Janavas. That was the old terminology. So this is coming from the same Niveshane, Anya Niveshane. So they were all brought there. So there is no comment. Tatra Shralvo Jarasandho Dantavaktro Vidurathaha Ajagmuschadya Pakshiyaha Pondrakadya Sahasrasha. So Shishupal came also with big marriage party, and some of the names are Shalva, Jarasandha, Dantvaktra, Viduratha, and Pondrak. Pondrak came from Kashi. He's the same one that Pondrak Vasudev, who will send a message to Krishna that give up your insignia, I am the real Vasudev. And then Krishna says, don't worry, I am sending my chakra. So chakra came and burned the whole Kashi. So Ajagmu Chaidya Pakshiyaha Pondrakadya Sahasra. So thousands of these people who were on the side of Chaidya, Shishupal, they all came there. So he also came with a big army of friends. Krishna Rama Dusho Yattaha Kanyam Chaidyaya Sadhitum Yadi Agatya Harit Krishno Rama Dyair Yadubhir Vrita. So Krishna Rama Dushaha Yat. So they were all enemies of Krishna and Balaram. They all came. And Ta Kanya Chaidyaya Sadhitum. So why did they come? They came so that Shishupal can get Rukmani in marriage. And Yadi Agatya Haret Krishno Ramadhyai Redubhirvat. And if Krishna comes there to take her away, being accompanied by Balram and Yadavas, then Yot Shyama Samhatastena, we all together will join and will fight with him. We will not let him do this. Tenaiti Nishchita Manasa. This was their determination. That's how they came. Ajagmur Bhubujha Sarve Samagra Balavahana. So all these kings, they came there with this intention. Not only just for marriage, but they were ready to fight. Because it was a question of their honor. In olden times, the king's marriages, this was also more than marriage, it was like test of their power. It was big issue of their ahankara. All these marriages, so many fights. That's why Rakshas Vidhi is described for the kings. It is for this reason. So Samagra Bala Vahana. So all of them, they came with all their force. So Jana Paramparaya Eva Shrutva Bhagwan. No, there is no commentary on this. So now Krishna has left. Then Balaram came to know now. Shrutva etad Bhagwan Ramo Vipakshiya Nripodyamam Krishnam Chaikam Gatam Hartum Kanyam Kalaha Shankitaha Balena Mahata Sardham Bhratri Sneha Pariplutaha Tvaritam Kundinam Pragad Gajashva Rathapatibhi. So when Krishna has left, after that Balram came to know that Krishna has gone alone, and he was doubtful that Krishna has to face this Vipakshiya Nripodyamam, that these enemy kings will be there and Krishna has to fight alone, and he has gone there to kidnap the girl. So he was expecting that there is bound to be a fight. It is impossible that they will allow it peacefully. So therefore he also gathered army and he left for Vidarbha, being full of affection for his brother Sneha, Bhratri Sneha Paripulta, Tvaritam Kundinam Pragyat, and quickly he also arrived. So he almost arrived same time as Krishna. Because Krishna left, then he has to prepare the army, everything, but then he says, we have to just run so that nothing untowardly happens to Krishna. So he also came with elephants, horses, chariots, infantry, 4 types of army. So now, both sides assembled. So Jana Paramparaya Eva Shrutva Bhagavan. So how did he hear? He only heard from others because Krishna did not leave any message for him. So he just heard from people. And although he is called here as Bhagavan, which means he is omniscient, omnipotent, but still he had the fear that there is going to be war. Avashyam bhavini, this will definitely happen. Kalehe prapta shankam tatra hetu. Why did he think like this? He says because he was full of love for his brother. And this is the nature of love. Anishta shankini bandhu janahridayani bhavanti. When you love somebody and he goes away or something happens, you always have some sense of anxiety that something can go wrong with him. Why he has not come in time? Maybe he met an accident, maybe some problem. So there's always this doubt out of love which comes in the mind. So iti nyayena pravalitasya snehasya sarvagattvadi avaran samarthyat. So although he is called Bhagavan here, but he is also called Kalaha Sankita. So both things are mentioned. If he is Bhagavan, then he should not have any doubt like this. He should not have any anxiety. But then it is also said Bhratri Sneha Paripluta. He was full of affection for his brother, and that's what caused him this anxiety. And his Bhagavata, his Aishwarya Bhav was subdued by that. So that's why he left for the big army to protect Krishna. So we'll stop here if there is any question to ask.
I have a question already.
Yes.
I mean, it's unsurprising. He's coming so fast with all the elephants and everything else.
Yes.
And how could he?
The elephants
couldn't fly.
Elephants can also. The elephants can come little later. The chariots, horses will go first. Obviously, there are also people walking on foot.
Yeah.
So they will come little later.
But this is all arrived at the same time. He left only the horses.
Well, it is continuous, they are connected. So if the first person reaches, means everybody has reached there. Elephants at the end, right? If you have a long car, your front part comes, then you say car has come, the back part is still outside. Okay.
Maharaji, can you explain, you mentioned something about the fire being in the wood.
Wood has fire inside.
Is that?
But it is not manifest, aprakat.
So it becomes prakat with friction when you try to...
Yeah, and
then
it burns the wood itself. So he said that Rukmani is like that. She is hidden or protected, and she herself will burn them. All these people who are coming for protection.
So Babaji, about this Vedic mantras they chanted, so it seems like Krishna made them, they cancelled their outcome.
No. That is the best. Their chanting became absolutely fruitful.
Not for Shishupal.
Yeah, but who says that they are chanting for Shishupal? They're chanting for her protection.
No, but Shishupal's side also they were chanting, you said, right? Both
Shishupal's
sides.
side, because they are against Krishna. So there the mantra cannot work. Mantra is not going to work against Krishna himself unless he wants it.
So I have a couple of more questions. So, one party is from Gujarat, the other party is from Maharashtra. But I assume that at that time there are no states. There must be dialects, I guess. It's Braja Bhasha then. So I'm just wondering, what is the medium of communication? Is it all Sanskrit?
Yeah.
Or?
All educated, because they were all educated people, so they all studied Sanskrit. It's like now Hindi is the national language. So most people can speak in Hindi, although they have their own mother tongue. So like that, Sanskrit was like a national language. There was no such thing as nation. It was Rashtra. Rashtra is different.
So the last question was about Krishna's internal turmoil for Rukmini. Was that entirely because of the letter that he heard, or was it?
No, he already
something
knew
else?
this. He knew this, but he was waiting for a message.
But had he
If
heard about
message has
her?
not come, he would have still done it.
Right. But had he heard about her separately, attributes and things like that, or was it?
Maybe she also spoke about it and some people informed him. As I said, that Brahmanas used to travel in the olden days, so they will know a lot of things. I have actually experienced it in childhood. Because in the olden days there was no such means of communication like you have now. So everybody is sitting in your home and you have the whole world right in front of you. So when one person came to the village from somewhere, then so many people will go and talk to him and ask questions. Because marriages happened in the villages nearby and they had. So if one comes from him, then some person, he is coming to one relative. Suppose they are coming to our village. Suppose from my mother's village somebody comes. But there will be other ladies from the same village married in our village, or some man married the girls from our village married in that village. So then the people who have that relations like that, then they will all want to get news about their relatives. So that's how news used to spread. And that's why when people came, they will not come like these days. You come and meet somebody 2-3 hours, go back. So then 3 days was minimum. And then they will get invited here, invited there. And it was a big thing, because you don't get to see people from your... If some girl gets married from one village to another village, even if it is 30-40 miles away, it's like another country, You don't hear anything. You don't see anybody. So somebody comes from your village, you want to go and meet that person and, talk. Like if you are living in America and somebody comes from your, town, if you are from a small town, you want to go and meet that person. Although these days not so much, but you can imagine when there were no means of communication except human beings. So then it was very common to do that.
I'd like to understand regarding the commentary on the first verse. They said Krishna's to Rukmini eka chitta tvat. Does it mean that Krishna here is fixed on her, eka chitta, or does it mean that he was one-hearted with Rukmini and therefore he had the same feelings as she?
Thinking of her.
Okay.
Just as she was thinking of him.
Regarding this clothing, Babaji, that new clothes that are brought from the market, it also means the same thing. Because what I heard previously was from that pastime of Chaitanya Bhagavat, where Pundarik Vidyanidhi, he complains, finds fault with the Pandas who are giving unwashed cloths to Jagannath in Odana Sasti. So that understanding was that we need to wash it first.
So therefore the Smriti Shastras are not always uniform on these things. Different Smritis. So one Smriti is saying like this. That's why then different areas of India there are different customs. So then there is another Smriti which says that clothes should be worn after washing. So that's why he was citing a sloka. Why do you think he's citing? Because Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is from Bengal. And in Bengal the custom is you wash it first. So now here Bhagavatam says ahata, right? Anshukaha. So it seems problematic. So he has to pull out a sloka to prove no, it is right. Because he's commenting on Bhagavatam, he cannot bring his local custom here.
What is the significance in the color of the horses?
Significance is that they can go in different situations. Just like I said, one is Mega Pushpa. Mega Pushpa means water, means they can also go in water. And there is Balahaka, which means cloud, means they can go there. That's what it means. Another is in green, can also go. I mean they are unobstructed. Okay.